Plaintiff Amy Alizea says her daughter dated the defendant, and after they broke up, the defendant started dating her new girlfriend, the co-defendant. Amy claims after her daughter went to prison, the defendant and her new girlfriend kidnapped Amy's granddaughter, so she's suing for emotional distress and a loan. Defendants Tanya Winkleman and Brittany Wells say after they got together, Amy asked them to adopt her granddaughter because she was an inconvenience to Amy, and they have a recording to prove it. They're countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, start with you.
In 2013, my daughter started dating Brittany Wells. Shortly after that, we got a call that my daughter was pregnant. I'm like, how does that all work? But anyway, she had the baby. I have a granddaughter,
Did you
Mariana.
ask how it occurred?
Yeah, I did.
As an adoption?
Yeah, I did. No, she had been dating guys too, also at the same time, been living with a guy.
Okay.
So anyway, I had my granddaughter in May, Mariana, and Brittany continued to visit Mariana at the house. My daughter went back to jail. She's incarcerated now. Brittany continued to come see my granddaughter at my house. I got temporary custody of her, and Brittany would come visit. She would want to pick her up on a Saturday and bring her back on a Sunday, which was fine, no problem. I didn't have any problem at that point. Then it was like the visit started getting a little bit longer. She wanted to pick her up on Friday and bring her back on Monday. So one day when she pulled in to pick her up, my grandson came to me and said, there's another girl in the car. So I went outside and asked who she was, and she introduced herself as Tanya, said she was Brittany's new girlfriend. So then the visits started increasing and being longer when Tanya got into the picture.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
So it was how many days ultimately that kind of,
how many days?
It was excessive?
A week. Yes, it was a week. It was a week. I tried to get her back for a week. I called on a Wednesday night to get her back. They said, we can't bring her back today because we're going furniture hunting. Thursday, I called and I said, listen, we're going to Walmart. Can you meet us at Walmart and please return Mariana to me? We got to Walmart. My grandson called them. We can't return her to you tonight because she fell asleep. So on Friday, I finally said to him, listen, I'm going to have to call the police. This is getting ridiculous. You won't bring my granddaughter back to me. This is getting ridiculous. I'm calling the police.
All right.
So in turn, I talked to the policeman and I said, listen, they won't return my grandchild. It's been a week, blah, blah, blah. It was traumatic. It was terrible. Trying to get her back, trying to find out what was going on, trying to get a hold of the police, trying to get a hold of my daughter in the state correctional institution, and having her call the state police and tell the state police they had to return the child. After 5 hours, and after the state prison making an exception because it was a child endangerment case, they left my daughter call the state police and tell the state police, you need to return her to my mother. So the child was returned to me with a diaper bag and one diaper and the clothes that she had on.
Okay, let me allow them to give some testimony now, and I'll get back to you with more specifics.
I presented audio to the court where Amy had asked us to adopt Mariana because she was an inconvenience to her. She also...
Is that why you wouldn't bring her back, if that's the case? Is that why you wouldn't bring the child back?
No, CYS, Children Youth Services, which I have a picture of the crib with open wires by the baby's crib. I was worried about her safety.
That's why you wouldn't bring the child back?
Because CYS told us not to until they went out and investigated the house.
Back up. When she was asking for her child back, or grandchild, you had already spoken to CPS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you tell the police you had spoken with CPS?
Yes, sir.
And yet the police required you to take the child back, even though there was a current investigation.
Yes, sir.
You all had rescued her from child abuse.
Yes,
and the
Your Honor.
police said, no, take her back.
Yes, I was devastated because I was worried about the baby.
Well, you weren't too devastated. You should have let them arrest you. Go ahead. What else you want me to know other than you withheld the child because that's what CPS told you to do?
Yes.
All right. You didn't tell the police to call CPS?
I told them to call CPS.
And what did they say? Let me see your police report, please.
I don't have a copy.
I know you don't. Go ahead. What else you want me to know, ma'am? That didn't happen. Let me see you have the police report?
There is no police report. I do have a note from when I got home after they kidnapped the daughter on that Friday. There was a note on my door from Child Protective Services that they wanted to meet with me.
Let's see
nothing
it, please.
prior to that. I had never heard nothing prior to that. No, that was the same evening they kidnapped her.
You don't
and kept
know
her.
when the report came?
I called them. I made an appointment with them. They came out. They drug tested me. They looked all through my house. They did an investigation. I have a letter from them stating that the case was closed.
CPS looked and determined that it was no cause of action. And you all received the child when?
We got the child at the beginning of June when the biological father had the child and she fell and hit her head. We ended up taking her to urgent care because Amy's preparing for her facelift was more important.
All right.
No, I had just got out of the hospital.
Hold on. You say you have an audio?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me hear that. And it says that she doesn't want the child?
Yes, sir. It says that me and Brittany will be ended up raising the child.
All right, let me hear what you have.
Do you think when she gets out, she'll stay out? Honestly?
No. 7 times, no.
So you'll end up raising Maliana too?
No, you will. No, you still will.
No, we will. I mean,
I would love to
we
adopt
would
her.
love to.
It's a big weight off me.
So, but I mean, yeah, because Britt and I would love to have her permanently.
Like now, like that is a big relief.
I mean, I could go down if you want tomorrow and try to add her on our case.
Yeah, I can write it up that we have joint custody. That way, if there's an accident at your house or something, you can go to the doctors and take her, and they can say, okay.
Yeah, Your Honor, they wanted me to sign custody and care papers for her. They kept pressuring me, presented me with these custody care papers, said 5 or 6 times, let's go to the notary, and I refused.
Ma'am, please, they weren't pressuring you, and you had no hesitation in this conversation. There's no pressure. They didn't pressure you one bit on this conversation that I just heard. You were very inclined to have them adopt and take care of the child.
No, joint custody.
So you'll end up raising Maliana too? This is what they're saying to you. No, you will. It's a big weight off me.
If they could help.
I know. You did not want to be bothered with that child.
At that point.
Right.
I was going through a divorce.
At that point, you want to go back and forth. Maliana, come on in the room. We can be bothered today. Next week, Maliana. I'm going to get out of here. I don't feel like being bothered. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to get somebody to adopt you.
I don't have the authority to give them to have them adopt her anyway.
No, so I don't know why you were saying all that then. Why were you trying to?
I was upset at that time because I was going through a divorce.
All right.
Which I still am.
Yep, and putting the baby in the middle of your divorce, which has nothing to do with this baby, even shows you a more unfit guardian
I am sorry
or parent.
for that.
Yeah, I know. You should be sorry the way you have done this baby. Yes.
Your Honor, she couldn't have been too depressed because she was cheating on her husband with the guy from
How
Turkey.
was I cheating on my husband? I was just talking to him.
Excuse me, please let me finish.
Cheating from someone that's 15 hours away from here?
The day I had to pick her up from the St. Thomas post office because she overdosed, passed out in the car. Thankfully, I had the little girl and had her windows.
Overdose off what?
Well, this is what's left of her Wellbutrin pills that she picked up on June 20th.
Her what pills?
Wellbutrin.
No.
She picked up on June 27th.
What do you say
That's incorrect. One morning, I was depressed at my house, getting ready to go to the doctor. And Tanya came into the bathroom to me, and she said, I have something for you that you can take that will help you.
No,
and she
How
said,
many
here.
did you take?
She said, here. She said, you take these pills. She said,
How
it will
many
calm
did you take, ma'am?
4. She said, put them under your tongue.
4 pills.
You're lying,
I
ma'am.
didn't take them. I put them under my tongue, she said. At that time, I was getting
Did you
ready
have
to go to the post office.
hospital as a result of these pills?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
The post office
she has
said-
had to go to the hospital for overdosing before.
What does this
Is
have
that
to do with this?
The post office actually called
Because
us.
the
Like I said-
debate here is fitness.
See,
You're
CPA
suing them about emotional distress
Right.
you allege they caused in dealing with your grandchild. And they're telling me not only did you say you didn't want the child, you also have overdosed on drugs.
And then, Your
That's
Honor,
what this has to
Like
do
I said,
with the case. Your
CPS
fitness.
came to the house.
And
They
you
drug
say
tested
here
me.
that you put the 4 pills
Right.
under your tongue.
Right, and that's
And
why
then
I
when
passed
they walked
out.
out, you spit them out?
No, that's
What'd you
why
do
I passed
with
out.
them? You swallowed them?
I guess they dissolved,
You
and that's why I
guess.
passed out.
I would never give you medication.
Yes,
and
she
Your
did.
Honor,
But CPS came and they
The
drug
loan,
tested
how do
me.
they owe you for a loan?
CPS came, they drug
How do they
tested
owe you
me.
for a
I didn't
loan,
have any
ma'am?
drugs. They owed me $1,400.
Yeah, how?
I have a written agreement that they borrowed from me, $1,400.
When did they ask?
Your Honor, that was for.
Quiet.
June 28th. I have the written agreement that
Of
says that Tanya
18?
was going to pay me back.
Of 18?
Yes.
All right, let's see it.
Thank you.
This is in the midst of all this fussing and arguing. Go ahead. Let me hear from you all about
I have
this
the
loan.
pictures proving that was payment for me cleaning out her garage of her daughter's stuff.
That's a lie. She wouldn't have wrote me an agreement.
I didn't write an agreement.
Yes, she did.
The agreement was for. There was nothing written.
Tanya wrote that
There was
agreement.
So
nothing
this
written.
is fraud, you saying?
Yes,
Yes.
I have not written any
Okay,
letters.
you have
to
your
her.
ID?
She's
Nothing was
lying.
written.
Guys, you have your ID?
Yes, I do.
Tanya,
Tanya, I'm referring to. Isn't
Tanya
that who
wrote the
signed
agreement.
that?
That's Tanya.
And
Both
Tanya's,
of you signed
and
it.
Tanya filled Brittany's name
Okay,
on
now
the check.
I want to see. Let me see you all sign your names. Let's start there. And it would only really be Tanya. And so
Well, Brittany
we
signed the back
know.
of the check, but Tanya filled in Brittany's
question
name
is
on the
this,
front of
ma'am.
the
This
check.
is the only thing that's relevant is who signed this.
Thank you.
And you've never seen this.
No, sir.
She's lying. She wrote it.
Ma'am, this doesn't even look like your license. What you just signed doesn't look like your license. I don't know if you're intentionally trying to sign
No,
it.
my
Yes, because
signature-
that's the type of person she
Yeah,
is.
this doesn't even look like your license,
Exactly.
ma'am. Now you sign it one more time because I see one letter that is written pretty distinctly,
one more time.
and if that letter doesn't come back the same way,
My signature changes every time I write it because I've had identity theft.
that's bad news for you.
I'm just being honest.
That's bad news. That means on this day you might have been lucky.
No, sir.
We don't
that's-
know what your signature was on this day because it changes all the time.
I would never
Wrong
write her a
thing to
letter.
say. Your counterclaim for emotional distress is $900. How does she owe for that?
Because the emotional
You
distress
are.
and everything of keeping Mariana from us, everything she's put us through.
You
With
don't have any rights to her. What do you mean keeping her from you? You have rights?
we were getting her all the time.
Do you have rights?
No, sir.
All right, your claim is dismissed. And ma'am, I'll grant you the money for the loan because, as she says, she don't know what her signature is. Judgment for the plaintiff for the loan. Your claims are dismissed. No emotional distress. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'm taking her to court for the baby because she's irresponsible, a drug addict. She's an alcoholic. She overdoses. She doesn't need the baby.
What would happen if
She's
the
not
baby
getting.
was
They
with
have.
her
I
in
have
the car when
contacts.
she overdosed?
I have letters from the parents. They're not ever allowed to see her again.
Honey, Pennsylvania
So,
has a third
It
contact.
doesn't matter. You are not allowed to see her, and that's the bottom line. You will never see her again.
We'll see
you
it when a
did,
judge-
You did it, and you will never see her.
Honey,
the mother
lay
and
off
father
the
have
drugs.
said
Lay off the drugs.
you gave them to me.